Hi everyone, welcome to the first gaming episode of the new season of Tales from Mauxferry. This season we will be playing Beam Saber, and our season will be called Metaphase. But before Metaphase comes Interphase, which will showcase some of our world building and introductory games. For this week's Interphase, we will be playing Microscope by Ben Robbins. We built an epic backstory to our world filled with, well, I'm not going to spoil what it's filled with, that's what this podcast is for. However, some of the season name inspirations and touchstones should become apparent thanks to the Microscope game. Also to note, this recording is the first time we were all back in our studio for recording, and the audio quality is back to what we prefer. As a sound nerd, it's literally music to my ears. Alright, enough of me talking, let's get on to the game. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales from Mauxferry. It's more of like Geekspective presents tonight, since we're all playing a new game of Microscope as a one-shot. Because this season for Tales from Mauxferry, we're going to do everything brand spanking new, and as such, I'm a very lazy GM, and I don't want to do all that work.
He says brand spanking new, but you know we're going to be injecting so much Tales from Mauxferry
stuff. Oh
God,
yes!
Like there's absolutely no.
We're just going to take all of our pre-generated lore, throw it in a blender, and like, well, this is your new world.
Mama gumba.
And then turn the meat grinder crank and like, here's your paste.
Thank you.
You spread it over the bread of the campaign.
Yes.
Right. And this is the first time we are back at the studio.
What?
Everyone, oh my god. Oh.
Yeah, we can physically, like, here we go.
I've never touched
we're
you
all
for
vaccinated, so it's all good.
Actually, my hand didn't even show up.
I know.
Put that needle in me.
Oh.
That's probably
Did I get it first? I feel like I did.
What? Do what first?
The vaccine.
You got the
Yes,
COVID
you-
and the vaccine
you're
first.
vaccinated first.
You got it
Then-
before I did.
Then
Johnny.
that guy.
Whoever
that
I
guy.
may be.
Father John.
And then Amber and I.
Was I after you guys?
No, you're before us.
Okay, good.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't hear your name either. That's
Well,
why I was
I'm not
touched.
important.
Oh, I said Dave's name.
You're a side character.
Everybody
You're a side character. In your own
make
life.
your characters. Dave, you're playing an NPC.
The best kind of NPC, the NPC that joins the party.
Yeah.
You're playing all the
No.
NPCs.
No,
playing the Gandalf.
That's not the NPC I get to play.
What NPC will you play?
Just like a shopkeep.
Yeah, I can do that.
But you're gonna come with us.
Like,
What if your mecha is a boutique shop that turns into a giant robot?
God, yes.
Oh, what
There
great.
actually is a playbook that pretty much does that.
You could be like a vending machine.
I like how we went from boutique shop to vending. Take some future Coke.
Who needs healing? Just shoot out band-aids. Because that's in vending machines.
Yeah.
Really?
I bet it is
I
somewhere.
bet there are in
like
airports.
a bathroom vending machine.
No, those are condoms.
No, there's
Yeah.
Those are not
Oh,
Band-Aids.
speaking of-
condoms,
Different.
tampons, and
There's this
ibuprofen.
horrible gas station that is so gross and dirty. I'm not going to say where, but we've all been around it because of where we're located. And Brandon was telling me that there is like a next to the condom machine was like it put in a quarter and it'll spritz you with like cologne.
Oh yeah, no, that's a common thing in truck
I
stops.
was like, what?
But no, I mean I've seen that in truck stops. Like,
Well, that's that's the character you're gonna play, Dave.
it's
You're gonna be
the clone emitting vending machine mecha.
Hey, what's up?
condoms. And
Dave, you don't need to
spritzing
start an
X.
OnlyFans. You just need to start charging for being a lot lizard.
Yeah, just be like Drakkar.
So he's not even being the lot lizard. He's being
Polo.
like the I need to spruce myself up before I can see that lot lizard.
Yes. Jeez.
But before we can even get to any of that kind of stuff, we have to actually build the world to justify this
Dave's
lot lizard vending machine.
horrible player character.
So tonight we'll be playing Microscope by Ben Robinson, and it is a world building. Oh my goodness, he has the actual copy.
Wow, dang. Fancy.
Father has bought a book. What a shock.
He has rules for a role playing game. What?
What? Never heard of. I've
It's
never.
not like I had to
So out of
devote an
character.
entire room for them in my new house or anything.
As such, we will. This is. I don't think any of us has ever played it, but luckily this game is structured in a way that where there is no GMs. there is kind of like a facilitator, which I will be. So I'll be reading some of this book to you all while we go through playing it.
Story time with Josh.
Do you get
There
to
you go.
do you get to contribute things to the world?
Oh,
building?
yeah, everyone does.
That's unfortunate.
I know.
Oh, Neko Cat Girls.
You can. We'll get there.
Well, when we were talking about playing the Quiet Year in an upcoming episode,
Yes.
I think we need to put the rules into effect in the Quiet Year about things that will not appear in this episode of the Quiet Year.
Well, in
do stuff
Microscope,
like
you
that.
can actually
I know,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
banhammer stuff,
Yep.
but also be like, I also definitely want to see Nico Cat Girls.
Right. But before we get involved with
You guys are
Quiet Year,
saying
we need
cat,
to go.
cat girls.
I know, but one is yes.
Okay,
But it has a very specific connotation.
it does.
Sure.
All right, so let's begin. History starts out at a fairly blank slate, just a broad outline of what happens. But as each player, okay, we're getting straight into the rules. I skipped some pages.
Yes.
Dang! Josh is ready to go.
That's right. History
Exposition.
starts out as a fairly blank slate, just a broad outline of what happens, but as each player takes turns adding new elements, you'll see more and more detail emerge. At the beginning, you'll collaborate and bounce ideas off of each other to make sure you're on the same page about the kind of game you want to play, but partway through the setup that stops. I don't know. From then on, the game demands that each player contribute their own ideas about how history should unfold. Sometimes you'll make decisions without knowing exactly where the whole thing is going or whether what you're creating will turn out to be important. That's okay. Part of the fun is not being in complete control and being surprised by the very history you're helping to create, rather than planning it all out as a group. To start a new game, follow the steps. Step 1, big picture. Step 2, book in history. Step 3, palette, add or ban ingredients. Step 4, first pass. So the first step is the big picture. First, brainstorm a simple overview of the history you want to play. If you were looking in a history book, this would be the one line that summarizes what happens, but leaves out all the details. It should be no more than one single sentence. Anyone have any ideas?
A lot lizard lives
No!
with an array of STDs.
Banned.
That's a scene. That's a.
No,
Yeah,
that's the entire history we're going through. Is
I had thrown out something along the lines of the end of a single planetary life, like something like that.
Oh, like basically Exodus. Like we all had to leave. Like a planet has, for some reason, can no longer inhabit life.
Or they leave it for some reason or whatever. Yeah.
So, like, humanity leaves its home world and on the new planet develops giant robots.
Or
we'll
they
get
had
there.
giant robots and just...
because
You
for
don't
the-
need to get into the details. We just want to make the one sentence.
because for
right
this
now.
full season we're playing Beam Saber,
Right.
which has a very robot heavy
robot,
rule set.
space, and terrestrial.
Yeah,
kind of
I
And
think-
so, like
Yeah.
that's the world we're trying to build is to accommodate
Right.
that.
That's,
kind of-
that was
yeah.
my thought, is that it has to end up at the end with people and giant robots.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll get there.
eventually.
Don't worry.
But basically, so we're looking for like the impetus of something.
of creating this history initially.
So we're at the like I like that because we were talking about it in our Discord. I think Chris was in there as well. We're talking about how like it'd be fun to have like no one's really living on a planet right now. We're kind of like journeying.
Right. You're
Hey.
like nomads, pretty much.
Yeah, I like the idea that it's like humanity leaves home and realizes they're not alone or something.
Ooh,
like
that's
that.
fun.
That's okay. Oh,
I like that a lot. Like because it adds for like weird alien encounters.
I guess we're getting those details
Is
in,
that,
in
is
other
that
steps.
too is that too narrow?
Oh.
Is that why you're grunting? Or do
Yeah,
you
like
just-
because we can just straight up, and so in the third step, you can just say, "I want aliens," and they'll show thou shall be aliens. So you don't need to even get that narrow because we get that narrow. later.
See, I was kind of thinking of it. In my way of
Big
thought
picture.
is, if I was to describe you in one sentence, a particular
Big picture scenarios of history.
Right.
and this could span thousands of years.
right,
kind
but
of
if I
big
was to
picture.
tell you this is what my TV series is about, and I didn't tell you that there are going to be giant robots at the end, then I'm not really being true to what the series is about. And so I was thinking that if you don't say this is the world we're building in the initial statement, then we're not really.
I would just add. So when we get to the third step of palette, add or bad ingredients, you could add.
I think,
giant
Josh, the
robots.
problem we're already having with this game is that we already know that the third
Yeah.
what we're going to be playing in.
That's fine.
Well,
But more of like we know the system we're going to play, but we need to make all the
don't-
history of why those things are there, and like being in mechs can just be a single
So
ingredient.
that's
It
why
doesn't matter.
that's why I'm saying we're having issues right
yeah.
now.
Don't even
because
think
we
about
already-
Beam Saber. Just don't worry about it.
It's really hard to do that. It's already in our head.
Oh my goodness.
But I like the idea of humanity leaves the planet.
Okay.
If you
Yes.
guys are you guys okay with that?
Wasn't my first choice, but okay.
What was your first choice, Dave?
I said that a lot lizard lives with an array of STDs.
And we
I
break-
wasn't even thinking about Beam Saber.
All right.
It's true.
So there you go. At the top, humanity leaves the planet. Next step is bookend history. Your history will be divided into periods. Each period is a very large chunk of time, probably decades or centuries. Describe how your history begins and ends. These are your starting and ending periods, the bookends of your history. You'll add more periods later on, but everything will be between these 2 points. Agree on a short description of each period, just a few sentences or a paragraph at most, painting a clear picture of what happens during this time. Second part, decide whether each description is light or dark, whether what happens during that period is generally happy or tragic. This is the tone of each period. The tone of the starting and ending period do not have to match.
So I'm already having issues. It's hard with the way that my brain is structured and, how to define a period, right? Like, what are these periods? How long is our history? Because to me, that's kind of important.
The thing is, we're going to be adding way more periods in between all these periods. So even though you say this is a bookend, that as you add more periods, if you said a unit of period was 100 years, but if we keep on, and you're like,
yes,
the bookends represent 100 or 500 years. Well, guess what? We could add actually way more periods in between those 2 periods than 3. We could add. You could just do the whole game as periods, and that's it.
So then my question is, how do we define? Like, okay, let's just say, okay, humanity has left this planet. That time period was dark because we had no idea this civilization was lost, right?
Humanity leaves a shattered world.
Yeah. So
in search of
and
whatever,
new
new home. And so it's a very dark period. And so that's the tone. And in that tone, like in that period, are we supposed to figure out what happens?
So
we will eventually.
We will eventually.
I know, but
so if I could throw in a thought, and maybe this will help Amber, maybe it won't help. But I mean, I think instead of thinking like we're not building the layers of the cake at this point, we don't know what's in the cake yet. We're just deciding what's at the top of the cake and what's at the bottom of the cake.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out what is that time like.
It doesn't matter right now. All we need to know, and then during play,
Thank you
we
for the cake analogy. John.
I don't know if it helped.
It did, because I imagined a cake and I could see.
But
what
we
you're
don't know how
saying.
tall this cake is.
Yeah, and until we get done playing, we don't know how many layers the cake has, or what's between the layers, or whether there's chocolate in a layer and vanilla in a layer. We don't know any of that yet.
So the bottom of the cake right now is know that. The bottom of the cake right now is the civilization has left a planet.
We don't even need. It doesn't even be that.
And we're looking at a beautiful cake that is humanity leaves the planet. That's the cake we're looking at.
Okay.
So now we want to. What's the bottom of the cake? Where does the cake start? Well, the cake starts at something.
Okay, so does it make sense that it starts at?
Humanity leaves a shattered world to find life in the stars.
Or even like Earth suffers a catastrophe or something that
It's 2012.
That would be like the
We're building arcs.
Yes, exactly.
Basically.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we could start. I mean, if we wanted to.
at the beginning is like, oh, some shit happened.
Yeah, I mean,
And then the story progresses from there.
And you pretty much are saying what's the beginning, what's the end.
humanity's homeworld is shattered. I mean, whatever that shattering turns into.
Right.
Right. So then what's if we're starting the beginning and end, then
But then you don't build the layers in between.
I'm not
until,
worried about
okay,
the layers.
all
So
right.
what's the end?
Well, what for me, I thought we were going to be playing. We will be deciding where our campaign will start after this is all over.
I guess that's a good point. No, not necessarily. I could just pick this up thousands of years after Microscope,
Or somewhere in the middle.
Or somewhere in the middle,
If the end of the cake is humanity is extinct, then like we're going to be playing somewhere in the middle. Is once we.
That's kind of why I'm like, I need to kind of like, what is the breadth and width of what we are actually exploring?
Which is what we're ironing out at this point, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the whole goal here. I would argue, and this is just my argument, that we're building the campaign history, and so the end of our Microscope episode should be the start of our new role-playing game campaign. So where do we want to? What does the world look like when we start our game? But that doesn't have to be the case.
Yeah.
But to me, that feels like it makes a lot of sense.
I guess we could explore it because maybe as we're talking about and building, there's actually a fun part of this history that we want to explore.
Because I
was thinking of picking up right You were thinking during Microscope or after Microscope?
Yeah, it's
after.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Because to me, it seems like in the role-playing campaign we're planning on playing after that, we want to be the ones that are leading the destiny or whatever. We want to be the movers and the shakers.
possibly.
That's
and if
what
we
I would
and
like.
if we sat here and figured out, well, 4,000 years after
Yeah.
your characters play, the world. Well, I don't want to know that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, why I said at the very beginning why this was kind of difficult to start this game this way is because we have this knowledge already that we have a campaign that we're driving to. So that's why I think if we were starting we're just playing Microscope just to play Microscope, It would be a different experience.
So you can also think of it this way: we are making the history that in D&D we just read in the books of like about Vecna and all that kind of stuff. We are making that right now.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, sure.
The God War.
But when you're reading that in the D&D book, it doesn't tell you. And 3,000 years from now, the world ends. And between that, years from now, there's going to be a empire rise that you're not going to ever play in or whatever. I mean, because it's always like this is the world you're at, and this is where you're starting from. Right. So that's the way I was approaching it. I understand what you're saying, Josh. It doesn't have to be that way, but that's my suggestion on how we should approach it.
I would like that to follow that suggestion too. Like we are going to be using this as a tool to start a campaign, and so we're going to be probably making stuff up that we want to engage with in the campaign.
Yeah, there'll be history, there'll be technology and stuff that we're going to create that's going to span hundreds or thousands of years. But then when we get to our campaign, it'll be there or it'll be referenced by your characters or NPCs or other things like that.
It'll be mythology or it'll be
we're building the lore for our campaign.
Exactly.
So to me, it seems like the ending has to be where we want to start our campaign at.
Okay. I like the idea of the ending being like the shattering of Earth then, because like that's a good reason to start it.
So the end. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You mean the end is the Earth exploding?
Or becoming uninhabitable for whatever reason.
Pretty much people are. Yeah, I agree. It's like the planet
so then
is
we have to go out.
effed, and we.
But
have
I mean,
to
isn't that the
leave.
start of where our history starts?
No, I think it's the end because we should see what leads up to like.
You said you want the campaign to start after the end of this period we're covering in Microscope.
Right, but I always thought we would be talking about why humanity left to go to the stars, and then at the end we're already out in the stars.
Right.
So it's
Because
I think
if the campaign ends with Earth suffers a catastrophe, then like we have to play the part where we build the colony ships and organize the jettisoning from Earth, and like that isn't what I want to play.
So you could say that then the end period is like
we're out in the
humanity
stars.
is harvesting planets or something like that.
The
humanity has harnessed mecha technology to or whatever the case. I mean, that's what we're going to play.
The apocalypse fleet or whatever you want to call it has left the system.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or I mean, even it ends, and the ending period could be something like, humanity develops mecha technology to defend itself in this new universe, or something. Whatever.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I think robots will. We don't even have to.
You don't have to talk about robots
Yeah.
right now. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Because it's just all about the events that are triggering other events.
And so the end point is humanity defends itself against new threats.
So I'm having a hard time with number 2. So bookend history, we're not making up the periods right now. We're just making the start.
The start.
and
These are also called periods as well because you can actually dive into these bookends.
One is the start period and one is the end period.
Right. Correct.
Yes.
So everything we do afterwards will come between these two parts.
And we can also explore.
So
the
then
end
what?
and beginning.
Okay. So I am seeing right now. This is to go back to the cake metaphor. I'm basically seeing. I'm trying to figure out what we're making a tiramisu. And so I'm having a very hard time with like, are we talking about one big cake, but what are we talking about right now? Are we talking about the bottom of the cake and the top of the cake?
Yes.
And then later on we'll worry about the middle part.
Yes.
So what's the bottom of the cake?
You could say the beginning.
Ladyfingers.
I'm asking what actually
Right,
is
and that's
our
why we're
bottom
trying to
of the
figure it
cake.
out.
And I think Chris threw a curveball
And
because
to say start at the end first. Just start at the top of the cake, and then we can go backwards to define the bottom.
Well,
of the cake.
I did mention the beginning first, but
What was it, Chris?
we develop interplanetary travel. Or
please,
something
it's
like
Shattered Planet.
No,
I like
no,
Shattered
we can
Planet.
we can
No,
just
not
start
yet.
with.
We would have to have interplanetary travel before the Earth
that.
shatters.
You got to have a little foreplay before you go in.
Yeah, exactly. And humanity develops
You gotta lube your machines.
interplanetary technology.
Get that
Let's just go with that.
WD-40.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea that there's a period of time where
Is this
we're just happy,
high
explore.
Is this a light or
Yeah,
a dark? Yeah, it's a
oh
good
my
time.
gosh,
It's a
look.
good time.
We're on your
So the
island.
tones dictate when you start looking at the details if it's like a bad thing or a good thing.
So are you only toning the beginning right now?
Yes, we toned the beginning. So as you can see if you have the digital board in front of you, I have humanity develops interplanetary technology. It is white. So that means, in general, when we explore this period, it probably has a good tone to it.
I hate the use of the word period because I just don't see it the way everybody else is understanding it, and it really...
It's a period of time.
Yeah, but we're trying to talk... Okay. Go ahead. Next period. The end period.
The end period. The end is... You said, what, the apocalypse?
Something like that, yeah.
Earth shatters, right? Something happens. And that's when something bad happens, that's when we're going to pick up our campaign.
Leaves the solar system or leaves the system or something like that.
Yeah. Humanity leaves its shattered home, something like that.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There we go. And I'm guessing that's dark.
Yeah, that's probably a bad thing.
I agree.
Okay.
And so there you go. There is the beginning and end. And we will add much more to this. Next one.
So this is like, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
In like a history book, like they define it by like major events.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Cold War is like a big chunk of it.
So yeah, this up here
That would be a period.
That would be a period. Yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't really matter how long the Cold War period lasts as long as it needs to last. It isn't a specific number.
Right.
No, yeah, I get that.
Or,
It's
the,
just like
or the Renaissance or westward expansion.
Right.
Or like
yep,
whatever.
the bubonic plague.
Right.
Right.
So step 3, palette, add or ban ingredients. Next, you take a step back and create your history's palette. The palette is a list of things the players agree to reserve the right to include or conversely outright ban. It gets everyone on the same page about what belongs in the history and what doesn't. Make 2 columns, one for yes, one for no. Each player can add one thing, either a yes or a no. Adding something to the yes column add something to the yes column if you think the other player would not expect it to be in the history, but you want to be able to include it. Add something to the no column if you think the other players would expect it to be in the history, but you don't want it included. Players can go in any order. You don't have to add anything to the palette if you don't want to. If every player did add something, either yes or no, repeat step 1. So we keep on adding until each player has the option, blah, blah, blah. If someone opted not to add something, stop. Your palette is done. In the end, no player will have added 2 more things than anyone else. So we will keep on going around adding until someone's like, I don't want to add anymore, and everyone else will have an option to add, and then we're done.
So I'm 1 second. Wait. So you're going on. This is still step 2, right?
Step 3.
Wait. So step 2 says each player takes a turn creating either a period, event, or scene.
Is it? Oh, shoot.
Wait, unless I'm completely
No,
wrong.
we're still in the setup.
No,
Oh,
we're
we're
still in
still
setup.
Okay.
Yep.
This is
Sorry,
game setup.
I missed the page. Wrong page.
Okay. So anyone have a palette thing? I have something in mind if you want an example. My no is no pure magic. If something is deemed magical, there should be, even if some asinine science reason why. It could be
technology we don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. Or particles in whatever universe that does something to your body that we just, there should be something, like pretty much no pure magic. There is some reason it happens. Thoughts?
I'm okay.
That's fine.
All right.
I will add a no. If
Okay.
that's okay.
Yeah.
And this is, of course, up for discussion. I don't want any like divine presences.
Mm-hmm.
So like it kind of ties in with the magic thing, but also like
No gods, pretty much.
yeah. Or
What
like,
about if there's people who like believe in or worship things?
that's fine.
Yeah. So
I just don't
But
want
no
I
actual
don't want
deities.
like literal biblical angels.
yeah. So no
That kind of thing.
no divinity, divine
Divine beings.
beings.
Yeah.
There we
like
go.
I'm sure
Beings,
there's
there
going to
we
be a
go.
million religions. It's
Yeah.
just
There
like
we go. That's good. No divine beings. All right.
Thinking.
I do want encounters with other
Aliens.
species.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
Friendly or foe.
All right.
And so everybody else has to throw something into the pot before we can throw more into the
Yeah.
pot.
So it's now we're at Amber and Dave.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anything you're like, I just don't want to talk about this, or anything you're like, I'd really like to talk about this.
you could put a no on lot lizards.
Yes,
That's right.
to capitalism.
Okay.
Oh, like megacorps and
Yes.
stuff like that.
Nice.
I would
I like
love to
those.
see.
Yeah.
I like that just as it's really good to
Mhm.
to fight against kind of thing. It'll make it very easy to come up with. I've been reading a lot about labor unions and working conditions recently, and I can totally see
Maybe-
thinking more detailed, thinking more about our campaign itself, how people can be exploited. I'm thinking
Oh, yeah.
Snowpiercer,
Yeah,
that
oh,
kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wait, so you don't want capitalism?
I do.
want-
Oh, you do
I,
want
I
it.
There's a
want-
lot of good
I
story
want-
stuff. Yeah.
There's a
I
lot
see.
of good stuff of
Yeah.
exploitation that we could,
Yep.
if we play decent people.
We'll see.
Be a real switch.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we could end up being like, the
Has
Elon
that
Musk.
ever happened before?
Right. I want to be a corporate
Why?
lord.
Forget about the billions of dollars I have that could go to help humanity right now. Let's go to space
I
instead.
gotta ride a rocket ship.
How about you, Dave?
This is hard. I don't know.
We can just end this step and. Go
I
to
mean,
the next one.
I kind of hate to because then I feel like then I've cut everybody else off from adding other things, and I don't necessarily want to do that. I just don't know that I have any great ideas.
Well, it's more of like, is there anything you're like I'd really like to talk about this, or something I'd really not like to talk about? I don't think about it that way.
Themes and themes.
I have a whole list, so Dave, you got to come up with something.
Yeah, just give me one off your list.
No.
Be like, Dave, I really want to talk about like lasers. No lasers. I will say, I'll take an easy answer and say yes to factions.
Yes, to faction. So you're saying that there are like tribes of people or groups that.
Yeah, humanity is not a
Homogeneous.
block.
Yeah. There are different opinions.
It's not
there are
just
different...
us against them. It's us against us against them.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. All right. So it's open to anyone to add more now.
I have one.
All right.
No interdimensional travel.
Oh.
So that's interdimensional, like.
No parallel universes.
Yeah, I'm up with. Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Because I was specifically thinking of Josh throwing in weirdos from other universes in Quiet Year every time we play. So
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Interdimensional.
a
travel.
dimensional portal
right.
opens in some weird.
Oh, I've got one.
Yep.
No time travel.
I almost went. That was going to be my next.
Okay, I was like, that's almost like the same thing, but
I don't.
No,
think
it's
those,
not.
I
No.
I agree. Those are separate things.
I know.
They
I
are
was like,
separate.
that's fine. Yeah.
I don't want any weird time loops.
Yeah, me either.
It's just complicated.
It's just too complicated.
Yep.
I don't want it.
Like, there's no time travel within our fiction, but within the mechanics of the game, you can bump forward and back. To take a
But
closer look at it.
like.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I've been watching a lot of Deep Space Nine, and like every fourth episode,
Yeah.
somebody goes back in time and crashes, and they make a planet full of their own descendants that they find later.
That's a good point. In this book, there's two things they say to avoid, and one is time travel because it kind of f's up the whole game.
I don't even
Can
want
I?
to do that.
I would like to put it yes.
Okay.
That I have now forgotten. Give me a moment.
Okay.
I was distracted by time travel. I had one. I liked it.
No.
Oh, faster than light travel.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
FTL, baby.
I know. I'm just trying to think.
No,
So when you say FTL, like even if you do FTL to get to destinations, is it going to take more than just like a minute?
Yes.
It would take.
It's not instantaneous travel. It's
Okay.
just faster than we can currently achieve.
We don't need
Okay.
generation
I will
ships
put
to get
then no instant travel or no sub hours travel or something like that.
Yeah. So like as a fictional example in like Battlestar Galactica, they do warp jumps, so they can jump pretty effectively from system to system, but it takes fuel and like I like that
Okay.
because that is still faster than light because you are.
But you don't want to just say engage and you're.
Well, even like Warp 9, like it still takes real time to travel. But like
Okay, I'm going to put instant transportation as a no. There
Yes.
we go.
And this is not like lines and veils. This is just
No.
like story
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
and that's
Um,
yeah, because I don't want it.
But it
to
can be
s-
lines and veils too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
sure.
true.
I don't want
Yeah.
us to be stuck at like relativistic speed because that's
Yep.
kicking the nuts.
But still, like when you want to go really far, it's like, oh, that's still going to take us some time.
Yeah,
No.
and resources.
Yeah,
and
and I think that's going to be the real rub is the resources.
let me try to think of anything. I would say yes to military.
yes,
I think that's just a I mean, I don't want to say it's a given, but yes to military.
like there is a military machine.
Okay, so we can open this up another time. Mine is no. It's a weird balance. I want to say like no technology that is all in one, if that makes sense.
Nope.
You're gonna need to describe that.
So
more.
Yeah.
I don't want like a computer that can do all the sensor suites, all the controls, everything is this in this computer. Like I want it kind of tactile. I want multiple systems that has to be used to do like a complex thing.
Can you give me a fictional example of something you don't like
That I don't like.
that you're trying to avoid?
Yeah, like an iPad.
You don't want
what?
iPad?
That's not a fictional example.
Well, I guess it's a real example. It does a whole bunch of stuff.
But it doesn't make me popcorn. It can't bring me food. I mean, it can if I order it. But
So you don't
that
want
won't
a Star
exist.
Trek computer do this?
I guess that's,
computer do
I
that.
guess that's a better way of putting it. Yeah, I don't
Well, I
want
mean,
like
even in Star Trek, they can't rely on the computer for everything.
Yeah, but when you want a cup of coffee, you walk up and tell the computer you want a
You
cup.
tell, you tell the replicator. You don't tell the computer.
Right.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you are telling the computer.
But there's
But
only
also-
certain
Replicators can
replicators
break
and-
down.
also like thinking about like Gundams and stuff like that. I'm like, if you just have one computer that does everything, versus like takes all the inputs, does all the things, versus like more tactile. Like, all right, I have to go to this console to look at the radar. I have to go to this computer to activate the tracking system. I have to go to this.
I see. No, you mean like you want like battle stations and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like in all technology,
You want like a fighter jet as opposed to a all-encompassing
I guess I just
spaceship
don't
that all does
understand.
everything.
Because like my
So it's like
my
I want inconvenient technology
Oh, I don't want that.
Why do you want that?
because then I can like
You can fuck us over.
pretty much.
No.
I mean, I feel like there's plenty of ways to still.
Yeah, I mean,
But also it makes it more tactile when you start getting really deep. If like, okay, I have to do this thing. I have to.
have you watched any Star Trek?
Yeah,
Sounds like
but
That
like,
doesn't sound.
that sounds like tracking ammo in like D&D.
no, not like that.
I mean, but it's like a similar like. Yeah, it's similar
Like-
energy.
Because like for me, I think about the station Deep Space Nine, which is a Cardassian station, and Starfleet can't interface with it a lot. So there's a lot of stuff that is on that ship that is they've got things like replicators and stuff, but that ship breaks down all the time because of vols. Because things get into the work, the things,
Yeah, I
and,
guess-
and tricorders break all the time.
Yeah, I just don't know how to say like. I don't want something that can make a lot of stuff for a person.
When you
You
when
would
you
have
said,
to. Can you please give an example of what that really means?
Well, he said he doesn't want iPads.
Yeah, pretty much. The iPad can play music, it can record, you can draw, you can send messages, you can do all this stuff. And I'm like, no, like the iPad would be broken up in like 10 systems.
I'm not a huge fan of that.
Me either,
but-
especially since we have interstellar travel.
Yeah, and perhaps that's a gigantic part of the ship to make it happen.
Do we have to vote? Is there anything about yes or no in this
There is
section?
for other parts of the game, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
about
I
this
think you
part.
just everybody gets to pick and things they want and things they don't want. I'm
So
not
really, the real mini game is to keep saying everybody pass, so Josh doesn't get anything to
Well,
say.
I get that. We're in another round, so it sounds like I just get to add it. So no.
I would have spent my entire characters going to be developing an iPad. Just FYI, that is my new
That's
goal.
fine. How should I work? Like
I don't know how you want to word.
yes to inconvenient technology, or
Yes to-
no all-in-one technology.
Yes to realistic technology.
I-
or, I'm
I-
sorry, no to realistic
I think,
technology.
Josh, you could spin this in a very different way if you talked about like eras of technology. So, like, if you're like, okay,
It'd be
we
like
want
the
this to be-
80s. It'd be like the 80s, but with stuff that can do a whole bunch. Like the 80s had all these really clunky things. You had to have a whole bunch of stuff go together to make like a sound or whatever.
It seems to me, and tell me if I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
Josh, but it seems to me like you're in favor of the Deep Space Nine sort of things are hooked together sort of haphazardly, and the systems are different. People made them, and different races made them, and they're all kind of. And so you don't want you sit on the
You don't want Wall-E.
I haven't seen Wall-E.
Oh my god!
you don't want the you go on the bridge and every single console looks exactly the same, and everybody you operate the console by pushing this button and then you push that button and
Yes.
slide this on the
Yes,
screen.
yes.
You want everything to be like on a battleship,
Yeah, like
basically.
modular technology.
So
or I
literally,
don't
like
know.
Deep Space Nine, and on,
Yeah.
And Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to avoid like this one computer does everything
This-
because there is space stuff that's like you just go to the computer and you just boom 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 or you tell the computer to do the thing and it just does.
you don't want.
Omniscient
I'm
computers.
not gonna stop. I'm gonna stop saying movies because as I say, Space Odyssey, 2001: A Space Odyssey. You don't want us to be like,
I've seen Space Odyssey.
oh, what?
There's weird parts in my life. I don't want Hal to be like Hal. Fuck that shit up.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it does. It just does all the moves, shoots all the things, does all that kind of
Yes.
stuff.
Okay, that makes more sense because I was like, but there's technology out there that you could just be like, I mean, again, a tricorder does. There's a medical tricorder. There's this kind of tricorder.
Yeah,
there's-
but the tricorder can heal in,
No.
scan and heal, or just scan.
just scan.
Just scan. Okay, that'd
There's
probably be
other-
okay.
things that they have to use.
So it sounds to me like you're trying to say no omnipresent computer technology that's integrated into every aspect of life and shipboard or whatever.
No omnipresent AI or computers or something.
Okay,
Like
that's fine.
Yeah.
I got it.
I'm going to invent an entertainment center.
So
Okay.
It can both play
Can
videos,
you and I just-
is that kind of a
and
no to
audio,
AIs, then?
and storage.
Oh
I think
my
AIs
God,
do
you
exist,
wizard.
but they may not be able to interface with
No
all
pure
this stuff.
magic.
I don't know. That's up to you.
There's
I
a
can't.
technological reason
I don't
for
know.
that.
Science wizard.
I don't know.
I just wanted to
I'm
know-
out of this list, or I'm out of the thing.
I would like to say yes to AIs. Then.
Okay, yeah, I think AIs are still fine. It's just more like you.
And then the AI
AIs
makes
and
a
VIs,
supercomputer
yeah.
that does
Okay.
everything. Because, wow, you guys are really inconvenient.
But I see what you're saying about WALL-E, where the big fat humans have the computer take care of them all
They
day
just,
long.
like, move them around and, like,
Right.
water them and feed them. And
Yeah, where nobody knows how to do anything on the ship
Yeah.
because you don't need to. You just trust the computer to do
Exactly,
it.
yeah.
Which I think is what Josh is saying he doesn't want.
Yes.
And
And
then
that's why I thought Wally. I was like, that's what Josh
Well,
is.
my first thought was you're talking about computer. You're talking about WALL-E going around cleaning things up, all these messes. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
I've been playing Mass Effect a lot.
No, Josh wants Wally down on Earth that the humans left behind on their giant spaceships that take care of them.
Dave, have you seen WALL-E?
Parts.
I feel like your children.
WALL-E.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I enjoyed it as a child and an adult.
What was his girlfriend's name?
Eva.
WALL-E.
So, John, Amber, and Dave, do you have anything else?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. No
All right.
weird sex stuff.
Thank you.
We don't even have to put that. Yeah, we can.
No, I mean, I'm
We'll
using.
get there.
is out.
I'm
Dave
using.
was like,
I'm using my turn to put it in.
thank you, John,
You
because
know-
that was going to be my next one. No,
I
like,
put no weird sex stuff.
well, like sex slavery,
Yeah, that would-
definitely,
that would-
that like that
Yep,
kind of stuff. That does
would fall
not,
in there.
it's not present in our history.
That's fine. Dave sounds like he's passing Amber, so this is your last chance to add anything.
Come on, Dave.
Or,
don't you have
or
something
block
else?
anything. No,
block
I'm
anything, yeah.
I'm tired of this game.
Yeah, we haven't even really engaged. With
I
them
just
yet.
want to tell stories.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm,
About weird
I'm-
sex
I'm-
stuff.
I'm tired of putting up fences. I want to tell stories.
Well, the yeses aren't fences. The no's are fences. Yeah.
The yeses are kind of fences.
Okay.
Oh, dang
And you
it!
don't need to add anything.
God, no magic. Jesus.
Science
Whoa.
magic's fine. It can be weird shit, but as long as somehow we point to that's why.
Like in Thor, when it's like, what you call magic, we call technology.
I want to say yes to biological experimentations.
Yeah.
Did you not put weird sex stuff down there right now? I don't see it on there.
I see it.
It's on the bottom.
It's on the
yeah.
bottom.
Oh, I can't
I
see it
don't
on my
see any
screen.
of those things. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
Can we? Are we supposed to follow this on our screen?
Yeah.
I tried to pull it up,
Okay, how
and
do
then
I-
it gave
how
me
do
a
I-
403 error.
Yeah.
and
So I
kicked
tried
me
the
out.
same thing. I don't know what to do.
I had to do.
Wow, these really
No.
inconvenient pieces of technology.
Biological
No, this-
technology,
this is
Amber.
all in
It's
one.
Biological experimental technology, yeah.
Okay.
I kind of
I'll-
like biological
I'll
technology,
just
too.
put
Yeah.
yeah. There you go. Okay. Cool.
Let's see.
So since Dave did not elect to add something, we go on to the next step. Step 4. First pass. Group decisions are now over. For the rest of the game, each player makes decisions individually and has vast power to shape history. Each player now gets to add more details to the history, creating either a new period or event. Players can go in any order they want. To add a period, place it in between the two adjacent periods that we had already made. Then give a short description of what happens during that time, say if the tone is light or dark. An event is a specific thing that happens inside a period, like a prince seizes the throne or a colony ship arriving on a new world. To add a new event, decide what period the event is in. If there are already other events in that period, place it before or after one of them. An event must be inside an existing period. Tell the other players what happens during the event. Say if the tone is light or dark. So we all get to do this once, and then we'll be able to start the game.
What? We've been playing a game this entire time.
Well, I guess we've been setting it up in theory this whole time. Anyone have a period or event in mind?
Yeah. I want a period.
All right, let's hear it.
Got
Got it for you.
the Great Blossoming.
Oh my god.
Is that a reference to something?
Yes.
No, it's not.
That sounds
It
like
is, that-
Evangelion.
that thing was talked about in the-
What? Am I making a reference to something I don't realize?
Yes,
I'm making
I believe so. I'll tell you later.
I'm Googling.
Is this a weird sex thing?
No.
No.
It's,
Anyways.
in my mind, it's just like
Okay, what is it? Yeah, let's hear it.
It's some period after
It's in between.
in between.
Yep. Because you have to go in between these two things.
Where there's it was like a blooming period of basically sciences, right? Like they design, we developed interplanetary technology. What?
Like space renaissance.
Yeah.
I just saw Dave's name on Supplier.
Should I put space renaissance for it, or what? We'll call it the Great Blossoming.
We'll call it the Great Blossoming, but it's basically this like once interplanetary unlocking that level of knowledge and technology
And access to all those resources.
right?
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden science just blossoms out, right? Where it's like it's kind of like in Star Trek where they're like, oh shit, we don't need money really anymore. So capitalists hate this.
Capitalists hate this one trick.
And but basically it's like currency is starting to be no longer basic needs are starting to be taken care of. You don't have to worry about food.
I like the idea that there's this like utopian science period bookended by terrible things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
it makes sense.
This is, since it's in the middle, it is inherently impermanent.
So the Great Blossom, I put / science explodes. It sounds like a light.
That
Yes,
actually,
it's good.
And actually, that'd be kind of cool too, because you were complaining about magic, and it's like maybe it's just old technology
Yeah.
that we lost the blueprint. Don't know how to make that
Exactly.
again.
Yeah, and it basically like this
Well, like
is
the Dark Ages, you know,
Yeah.
they lost all that knowledge because stuff.
Warhammer has something called the Dark Age of Technology, where all the, Warhammer 40K is 40,000 years in the future, and there's like a period like 20,000 years before that, where everything is like, oh my god, we have all this science, we can do all these things, and then they nuke themselves into extinction.
Yes, that's what that's what I feel like is going to happen. Like capitalists hate this, so most of the
Capitalists
majority
hate this one trick.
Exactly. who has another period or
Okay.
event?
I'll take one.
All right.
Okay, so somewhere between the Great Blossom and humanity leaves its shattered home, there has to be a shattering.
I'll call it the shattering. And you're supposed to give a very short description.
Yes.
You don't have to go into super detail, but
All right. Yes, I mean, environmental catastrophe befalls the homeworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I dig.
Take it. Makes sense.
Whether that's a biological
Right.
thing or an ecological
It's
thing.
open enough.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could be a combination.
Right.
Could be like, oh shit, there's mutants. Blow up the planet and run.
What has science grown?
Emerald ash borer.
Not once did they ask if they should.
The science has blossomed too far. And nuke it. Nuke it from orbit.
catastrophe end with an E?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I was like, what? This is dark, I'm guessing, yes.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not.
I mean,
not great.
unless you're the
great.
cockroaches.
It's the space roaches.
Ooh, rad roaches.
Not brother, John or Chris?
Wow.
Wow.
Dad, you go first.
I have an event
Oh, where at?
under the first period of humanity develops.
Wait, are we? Is this an event or a period?
An
You
event.
can choose whatever.
Oh, okay. We can go deeper.
Yep,
Okay,
yep.
cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Wait, just in this, we
Just-
can either
just
do
period or event.
periods or events.
That's it.
Later we can do scenes,
Yes.
which we actually role play.
Yep.
There's role play.
There's role play in this game.
This was a miniatures game. We have my Necrons back home.
So under the humanity
Yes,
develops
got it.
interplanetary technology, I'm going to say, quote, benevolent billionaires
That's
develop
oxymoron.
interplanetary technology for their own benefit.
For space capitalism.
Yes.
we'll
Well,
leave
actually-
these suckers behind.
So there's this YouTube channel I like called Kirkazat. Kirkazat.
Yes, Kirkazat, yeah.
With the birds. And they talk about how the initial startup cost to like mine asteroids and shit is going to be really expensive.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the return is just
But it's
fucking
gonna,
insane.
once you finally break even, it's going to be like just money.
It is. It's this ungodly amount of money. Like they dwarf the whole world's economy.
Like easily.
Why? What's on these meteorites?
It's
Gold and
asteroids,
platinum. And it's all these,
palladium,
all these metals.
crazy shit. And it's like more natural resources in one asteroid than that's on the entire planet.
Yep.
Maybe they'll find helium up there.
Yeah, and I think there are those more elementary kind of thing.
But that's the guys.
Is that light or dark?
What are you going to use this palladium?
I think it's light.
Okay.
It is.
I mean,
It has dark implications.
It does
Yeah.
further down, but right now it's light.
I have a period that I'd like to add between the Great Blossom and the Shattering, and it is a space colony is established. Space colonial. No, not colonies. Space colonies are established.
It's colonies.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking something like that.
You mean something off of Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm going to put
Off-world
like
homes.
giant space because like you think so, I'm thinking like these are side sizes,
Something-
Gundam sizes. So,
So
these
like
are
millions of people.
millions of people.
Something that
Wow.
is off low Earth orbit, basically.
Yes.
Not intersolar, but interplanetary. Like
Who's to say they can move that much? But we can figure that out.
That's what I'm asking. I mean,
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they can travel. You can make an event, or I don't know. For right now, I'm just thinking they do it. They get an establishment up in space that houses millions of people.
So for my contribution, I have many ideas, but I'm going to throw this one out. It's an event within the Great Blossoming
Okay.
that is going to be quote unquote perfection of genetic engineering.
Perfection of genetic engineering. Is that light or dark?
Is there a neutral option?
Nope.
Then it's light.
Wow, we're so optimistic
Well,
in general.
I mean, you have a great.
There's a we're at the peak, and then there's the big
keep on
there's
going
the
down.
big denouement slide
All right.
into home.
All right, so we did it.
Perfection of
I
genetic
wonder.
energy? Dang.
Engineering.
Engineering. Oh, Josh says energy.
Oops,
Well, Josh
sorry.
doesn't know.
I
He
don't-
doesn't know how to spell engineer.
I know.
Also,
You just now
there was
noticed?
something earlier that I thought was mistyped.
Well, I like to
I
look
did
at
get a
the
mistype
players
earlier
list
as well.
and
I know.
Yeah, the players list is very good too.
Ready for a rules light, narrative failing forward, collaborative storytelling tabletop role playing game?
Unsure of where to start?
Powered by the Players is an actual play podcast featuring mini campaigns and one-shots of all your favorite Powered by the Apocalypse games.
Each campaign or one shot will be a different PBTA game with a rotating cast of diverse players. We've got Masks, a teenage superhero drama.
Bluebeard's Bride, a feminist horror retelling.
Monster of the Week, a supernatural mystery.
Escape from Dino Island, a Jurassic Park-inspired adventure.
Crossroads Carnival, a Depression-era sideshow noir.
The next game you play could be yours, so join Morgan, Kristen, and Diana.
And let's power up.
Follow us on Twitter at PBT Players.
Subscribe on your favorite podcatcher.
So this is how you play, the overview of play. You should have already followed the steps in starting a new game. Yes, we did. Decide which player will start. That player becomes the first lens. If someone is teaching the game, they should be the first lens. I guess it'd probably be me. You can give the lens a large and visible object to remind them we don't have that. Declare the focus.
Oh, we do. We do have large visible objects.
I know.
we have lots of physical objects. There's
This
brownies.
pizza crust shall be
nacho
the speaking stick.
I want these gummy bears that are in front of me. I cannot reach.
Come on, let's play the
All
game.
right. So declare the focus. The lens declares the current focus of the game, the part of the history you're going to explore right now. And then make history. Each player takes a turn creating either a period, event, or scene. The lens goes first, then go around the table to the left. What you create must relate to the current focus. The lens can choose to create two things on her turn, so long as they are nested inside each other, either a new event plus a scene inside the event, or a new period plus an event inside the period. This gives the lens more power to get the focus going. Lens finishes the focus. After each player has taken a turn, the lens gets to go again and add another period, event, or scene, or two nested things. This lets the lens have the last word about the focus. And then we'll go on to what entails like a scene or the stuff that happens afterwards when we get to it. So the focus, I think the focus is... I think the focus is the interplanetary technology. I think I'm going to define a period in between humanity develops interplanetary technology and the Great Blossom happening. And this is
Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
I'm creating
col-
a period in between the beginning and Great Blossom.
I didn't realize space colonies are after the Great Blossom.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like there may have been like tiny colonies,
Right. But I'm talking about
International Space Station kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But then after the Great Blossoming, it became possible to have city-state type.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I'm doing this, so I'm making a period in between humanity develops the interplanetary technology and the Great Blossoming is I'm going to call it the accident. And it's the period of, like, you jumped to unknown region with aliens.
Wait, what?
So it's like first it's when...
We're just dicking around and find aliens.
Mm-hmm. You pretty much
I hate when
jumped.
that happens.
They jumped to a place that had aliens.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm calling it the accident.
Because it goes poorly.
Does it go poorly or is it
Yeah, I'm
go
putting it
good?
as dark.
The accident generally does not have positive
It's
connotations.
basically
If
Event
I were
Horizon.
happy,
If there was an event in my life that I called the accident, it would either be a car accident or the time I shit myself in public.
Yeah.
You know
or
what?
that time you accidentally, found aliens,
Right.
I guess.
You know what period in your father's life he calls the accident?
Oh,
Fuck,
jeez.
God. And I'm gonna use my lens.
Tijuana.
I'm gonna use my lens power, and I'm just gonna just create an event.
Make it sound like a superpower.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like
you get it next.
Using my lens powers.
Discovery or the what was the first contact crew is annihilated. Chris, your turn.
Okay.
You get to make a period, event, or do a scene of an event.
Okay. Let's do a scene.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay. Gotta get those rules.
The rules are right here.
And I'm gonna do it in the event that is under the accident.
So we're just gonna do it straight up to annihilation.
Yeah, I want to know what
Well, I
happened.
mean, maybe not necessarily
Is it-
the annihilation. Maybe it's the actual first contact where,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I
want to find out why they got annihilated. Is it we were aggressive humans, or
All right, here we go for scenes.
Here you go. Yep, right here.
on the right here, making a played scene?
So first of all, state the question. I'll just read the gist of this. If you make a scene, so you could dictate the scene. If you don't want us to roleplay it, you can just dictate it.
We'll see.
Okay. To create a scene, you first pose a question, something you want to find out about the history. The goal of the scene is to decide the answer to that question. We start off the scene without an answer and discover it through play. The question can tell us something crucial to the history, like why did the king betray his country? It can give us a window into into what life was like in the time and place. Like, are the asteroid miners happy with their rugged frontier lives? Or just examine something that isn't important in the grand scheme of things, but is interesting to the players, like, did the soldier get to marry his hometown sweetheart?
I feel like Dave's gonna make a lot of scenes.
Well, I mean, like, you had already kind of asked the question.
Yeah, but I'm going to specify
Yeah,
it
yeah,
more.
yeah.
But yes,
If you want to make a scene, but you want to answer the question yourself instead of letting the other players participate, you can choose to dictate the scene instead. When you dictate a scene, you describe what happens and narrate the answer to your own question, just like making a period or event. Making dictated scenes is covered later. Anyways, you have to create or state the question. Your question is...
what causes the first contact crew to be annihilated?
Whoa.
Are the aliens just xenophobes? Did the humans piss them off?
All right, so do you want us to roleplay with you, or are you going to dictate this?
I don't have any answers to this, so role-playing sounds fun.
Okay, so next thing you need to do is set the stage. Where does this take place?
Okay, so we come out of our jump or whatever, and it's like, oh my god, there's life on that planet.
Scan it.
Let's send a crew down to say hello.
Oh,
So it's the scene is on an alien planet.
What's the name of the ship?
The USS Ill-Fated.
literally the first name that came to my head was Nostradamus, but I think that is a bad ship to name.
Yes, from Event Horizon.
Yes.
But, I mean, like...
Ill-Fated is what we're
Yeah, it's like, Astronaut Amber, we have an important mission for you. No one's ever done it before.
Okay,
All you have to do is get on the USS Ill-Fated
Yeah.
and do interstellar travel.
Or Rasputin.
Let's
Clearly, somebody realizes that's a bad name. They're like, we're going to call it the Titanic.
What's the name of the lady from the Trojan War who makes prophecies and nobody listens to?
Oh, it starts with a P or O?
No, I think it's like
No, it's
Cassandra.
Cassandra.
Cassandra?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the USS Cassandra.
Okay. So next is we choose characters, and since we have 5 of us, usually you want to have a person play like time or the environment or something
Ooh,
like that.
can I be the environment?
You're supposed to go around the table, but whatever.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. You said somebody could do this. I went, oh, I'll be that. No, Amber.
It's supposed to be part of the game of kind of like
John musteth be time.
Yeah, so pretty much Chris gets, I think, let's read the rules.
Rules.
What have you ever done
Step
for me,
1.
rules?
You did that. Okay. Step 3. Requiring banned characters. Playing making the scene may specify 1 or 2 characters someone must play in the scene.
Oh, okay. I have ideas.
You can require banned characters, categories of people.
Yeah, you can be like, I don't want alien rulers, or I don't want soldiers, or whatever.
Yeah, in theory, we're supposed to go around there.
Are these is this a science crew?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So,
All right, sounds good.
so I get to, since I made the scene, I get to pick
Each
2
player picks
required roles.
No.
Did I miss?
Player making the scene may specify 1 or 2 characters.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone must play in the scene.
So 2.
Oh, right.
There's no. Okay. Someone has to play the representative of the aliens, or I guess somebody has to play the representative of the humies.
At this point in our history, do we refer to ourselves as humies?
Yes, of course.
Probably. I don't know. No.
Who wants to be aliens? Who wants to be humans? I guess Chris.
I am John Forthright of the humies.
So
Just somebody to
it's supposed to be
volunteer.
each player picks a character to play in the scene, and with that symbol, it means it goes to the right. I think so. We can start with Chris, and then you're supposed to go around the table.
So one of the 4 of you, I'm not doing either of these roles.
Okay,
so fuck you.
Where are you picking?
Somebody is going to have to be the alien leader, and somebody's going to have to be the human leader, and I'm going to be the chief science officer on the human ship.
All right, Jadzia.
I'm going to be the human contact.
Oh boy, is he
Captain?
gonna
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
be... Ugh.
Captain Joshua.
You know what I'm doing. Everybody knows what I'm doing.
I know what you're doing.
I'm the alien.
That sounds good.
Yes, it does.
Just
You can be
remember.
time if you want, Amber, since it came to you.
I want to be the time.
Or you can be the
environment.
environment, whatever.
Ooh, so I get to describe the area.
Yeah, so pretty much you're doing like reactions to help move the scene along.
Okay, but can I also describe the planet?
And then the
Sure.
volcano erupts.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that.
All right.
What are you, John?
I'm going to be the member of the crew who's on the communications console.
So are you up in the ship? Okay.
Save
At the
it sound.
teleporter.
Mayday.
All right.
I repeat.
All
that is
ships,
a
Mayday.
So the next thing we're supposed to do is reveal thoughts. Each player states one thing their character is thinking about the upcoming scene. Start to the right of the player making the scene and continue to the right. The same order as picking. Oops. So I guess you're supposed to pick last, Chris. Oh, whatever. Your thought could reveal what your character is going to do or highlight with your character or highlight what your character expects to happen. Revealed thoughts are a powerful tool to influence the scene. They let you give the other players hints about where you want the scene to go. Don't reveal thoughts that answer the question before the scene even starts. You can hint or blah, blah, blah. Your thoughts can be about other players' characters, but you're only saying what your character thinks or believes. The other players get to say what their character really did or is doing. Okay. Okay. So I guess I go first. The captain is thinking, I wonder what kind of technology they have I can steal.
Oh my god.
That's perfect, Josh, Captain.
Fuck. He's a capitalist.
Revublar is the alien. Diplomat, I guess. Uses his synthol gland to determine that these alien visitors have a very high protein content.
Protein rich.
Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I, as the environment, am going, ooh, sending out waves that block communications.
Wow! What? Just dicked over him.
The communications officer. Oh, communications are blocked. I would like to bully John today. It's what the environment says.
The chief communications officer says, I wish I'd gone to meteorology school.
It was a comment.
The communications officer. Here's what he's thinking. Man, I shouldn't have stayed up so late last night. But man, I won so much money at that card game. This has been great. Man, I wish I hadn't drunk so much. Well, I never have to do anything anyway. I'm sure this is going to be just another boring day.
I'm sure I don't have to.
Maybe no one will notice I'm asleep over here. I'll just put my chin up like this.
And what about you're with the captain, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Yeah.
How the hell are we going to communicate with these things?
Things went downhill from there.
All right, I guess I'll start this. I'll open the scene. Yeah, so we're in, I guess what kind of uniforms are we in, Chris?
I'm not Star Trek. These are like work jumpsuits.
Mm-hmm.
Just like...
And we have respirators and all that kind of stuff. I'm guessing. Yeah.
It's sealed.
Yeah, exactly. So we come down, and what do we see?
You see several masses that, I mean, again, your scanners detected that there was life, and so you came down to meet. But you see like a shimmery type, bluish greenish type puddle or blob. Again, it might be distinct things. It might just be one thing.
All right. And I have like scan around. I'm like, Doctor, this puddle here, is this what we're looking for?
How tall is the puddle, like on the ground puddle?
I mean, it is kind of like how water bubbles because of the surface tension.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's kind of bubbly up like that, maybe a few inches. No, let's take it back. Let's slightly more, maybe a foot, because the gravity on this planet is less.
I'm gonna say.
I mean, I don't mean to.
No. You feel the gravity as you walk forward. Your steps are lighter than normal.
The spring.
There's a spring.
I think the science officer. I'm not sure. Q-tip. Q-tip the puddle.
The captain said something about bubbles, and I don't know. I can't hear him very well.
Said something.
I'm just telling the rest of the crew. The captain says something about bubbles and bouncing. I don't know what they're talking about down there. Honest to God, does anybody adjusted this thing?
So
I mean, it seems different than it did last time.
That's a good point. We can all play secondary characters at any time as well. So we're playing the primaries of the scene, but we can play secondaries at our will. And secondaries can die instantly without anyone pushing back on, because there's a move called push. So you can be like, let's talk about that.
Okay.
Red shirts.
Yeah, exactly. And primary characters, you have to get the permission from the person that killed the primary they're playing.
So yeah, I think the science officer is taking a big swab out of the.
Yeah. Your science officer or a red shirt?
No, me.
All right. I think. I mean, and so you want to know what happens when you swab?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that probably one of the puddles almost ripples out with an iridescent color, like as you Q-tip in, and then as that iridescent ripple hits the edges of the other puddles, they ripple as well, but less. Like it's a diminished effect as it goes from one to the other.
One of the puddles says to the other puddle, Jeff, are you okay?
That motherfucker just stabbed me.
Stab me! Shit! Jeffrey.
I couldn't come up with an alien name.
Yeah.
It's a human equivalent.
I think my I think I said the alien's name was Revublar.
Oh, so Jeff Ublar.
That's the guy next to him.
Anything on the sensors?
I don't know. Let me get out my 14 devices.
Yes!
You have to get out your.
I'm sorry. I have to go back. I have to go back to the shuttle to examine this.
You have to get your chemistry kit out.
There we go.
Because
Are you scanning anything? Because it's an environment I want to say something.
I don't know. I don't know if we have scanners.
Well, we disabled the scanner thing.
You have like 6 of them.
I scanned the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
I've got like just a line of like scanners,
Like
biological, environmental, chemical.
The air is toxic to you.
Like super toxic or like pretty toxic?
Pretty toxic.
Okay.
That's one thing you come back
Don't take
with.
off your helmet, boss.
Guys, I don't know what's
That's a
going
good
on, but
twist.
Jennifer said something about a Q-tip, and now she's scanning something. I have no idea.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I will use one of my 19 scanners to examine the sample. When it's taken away, does it show up as still alive? Alien man?
I would think. Gosh, that's a good question. Yeah, I think it does. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's how they. Yeah, right. Maybe that's how they reproduce.
Okay. Yeah. I'll say, yep, that there shiny gasoline puddle is definitely alive.
And I'm a proud father.
I always wanted to have children.
I look at the puddle and I go, "Hello, we are from the Principality
of."
And he just says the Principality.
Okay.
We are from the Principality.
This is what you hear, Dave.
Yeah. And okay, so Amber, I want to take a step back. Were you kind of inferring when you said that the air was toxic that that's how the crew gets annihilated?
I don't know.
Is because the environment's toxic and like I don't have to kill anybody?
I don't know.
Like I'm prepared.
No.
I'm fully prepared.
It could be toxic enough that it like corrodes our respirators and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We don't know. Yeah.
Or if you're...
You can push, as the environment, you can like push us to that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you... I mean, this is the thing that kills me with this. I noticed somewhere there was like, you can't really like... There's a hold stuff. There's not really any way to discuss or anything. That's what it says, a style of play.
Yep. You just
So that's really hard for me because I'm like, I don't want to step on your toes if you have an idea.
But as an environment, you can be like, the respirators start to bleed.
I'm waiting to
gas.
see what.
Okay. And yes.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to grow a sack for this because like it's like, do not discuss, do not negotiate.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
I
You just
that.
do it.
And so so I don't think there's a reaction.
I go to poke it with my finger.
Yes.
It's can I say this as an
sure.
environment? It's kind of in your preview, but basically, as soon as you start to put your finger into, it starts to like, I don't know, it sticks to you, but I want to say it starts to get kind of, you can feel warmth happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's like putting your finger in a
I put
puddle
up
of piss.
exactly. I'm like,
It's bubbling.
Doc, it's pretty warm.
God.
I'm looking at your finger and your suit melts.
It's just like a bone.
Yes.
It's just like a bone from like the knuckle up.
Yeah.
And I go, I think I could go, oh shit, and I start running for the transport.
I'm gonna start trying to hail communication.
Guys, I don't know what's going on, but they said something about sticking a Q-tip in gasoline and now it's burning. I don't know. The captain's screaming something, but I can't make out a word of it.
When you get
Wait, the science officer Jennifer's what? What?
Help!
What? What?
like when you get back to where your shuttle's at, you guys, I want to say like part of it is like half kind of like submerged into like the environment, and it's like kind of like sinking into it, and you can see that there's some corrosiveness happening around. Guys, if only you had better devices, honestly.
The aliens, I remember their thought was that we're very protein rich, so maybe the whole planet is like gonna eat us.
Guys, can you bring the ship closer? I can't hear him very well. Maybe if you took us below the cloud.
Across your guys' communications, you hear cloud,
and you just hear like, no, like a screaming back. And
No.
save us!
Yeah, the science officer says, save us. Bring her down. Bring her down.
Yeah.
What does aliens do?
I mean, again, I guess I've just. I mean, even though I've named Revublar, I don't know how intelligent. I'm now that we've done it. I think that it is a life. It is kind of a non-sentient life form that is just kind of like a mold almost to equate it to a human or a fungus to equate it to a human an earth life that will just eat dead matter.
Or make matter dead to eat it.
Yeah,
I would like to, just for make sure I'm clear, I'm pushing the helmsman to drive the ship down.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's how everyone gets annihilated.
Yeah, we're kosher with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it sounds like the answer then is killed by corrosive gas in an alien mold that just consumes.
Yep.
Okay. And this is dark, I'm guessing?
Not for Revublar.
It's not good. That's dark.
All right. And there you go.
Wait. This is the USS Cassandra. Mayday. USS Cassandra. The gas is in the...
And that's how First Contact goes. With the first alien species that humanity ever encounters.
Dumb
was
as
a
shit.
puddle that ate them.
But then we find out
Because
40
the
years from
captain
now...
decided to poke his finger into it.
We find out 40 years from now that they make really good fuel.
Probably. You're probably right. All right, John. We'll just try to do this round and then take a break, pretty much.
Okay.
So, John, period, event, or scene?
I want to add another event.
Okay, to what?
To humanity develops interplanetary technology.
All right. Where does this fall?
It would be after the benevolent billionaires.
Okay.
The benevolent trillionaires exploit the universe and become oligarchs.
Wow.
You wanna make that? Oh, an event, not a scene. I was
Benevolent
like, you're gonna make me
trillionaires
role play a
exploit.
board meeting?
What was it? Exploit what?
They exploit the solar system's resources to become oligarchs.
That makes sense.
It's not as exciting as the.
But the trickle down will work.
Dark or light?
Oh, dark.
Job creators.
There you go.
Go to space. Find us fuel.
Amber.
Oh shit.
Tax breaks.
Wait, was that? Wait, I'm sorry. What?
I created an event.
He created.
Okay, in an event, not necessarily.
Not a
okay.
scene. So
Yeah.
you don't have to do anything.
I want to do. I think I might want to do another. I haven't really gotten specific. I like doing periods of time.
All right.
Do a period of time or an
Yeah,
event. All right.
we'll play in it.
Oh, I
I'll
can
play
look
in
at.
your puddle.
Oh.
I don't know what that means, but I said it.
I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be a dark period. I think it is. How are you? How dark do you guys want to get?
Go pretty dark.
You get to dictate.
It's basically cannibalism. We'll call it the Great Devouring.
Oh my god.
It wasn't that great.
So is this because there's just a lack
Of resources.
Lack of
lack of resources, and I think at some point, it's in two. I don't know how specific you want to get. I think I'll just leave it like that for now.
Great devouring / lack of resources. All right, Dave.
God, now I need a scene in the Great Devouring.
Gotta have some events first.
Yeah.
Oh, do we
You have
need
to do
events before you get
before
to? Okay,
scenes,
well then, yeah.
Well, I guess this was. Oh well, it's supposed to be around interplanetary technology was the focus.
Oh,
but
that's true. That's true.
Oh, whoops.
Sorry. That's fine. Let's keep on going.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
No, that's totally fine. Yes, I think I would like to look at a scene under benevolent billionaires.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. What is the question you're trying to answer?
I guess the question I'm going to ask is, who are the unsung heroes that maybe not invented, but discovered the technology that the billionaires took credit for?
Cool.
Who's the nerd in the basement?
Yes, I want the nerd in the basement.
Who then was their ideas were taken from?
Right.
Do you want to dictate this, or do you want to?
Oh, I think we should play it.
Okay. What's the scene?
I mean, someone has to be the nerd in the basement.
So a basement.
What's that?
We need. Where is this located?
Oh, where I would say that the R&D headquarters of Execucorp.
All right. Yeah. So now go ahead and dictate.
Yeah. So we need a nerd in the basement. We need probably some kind of manager, project leader, CEO, like boss type.
Okay, let me be that. Oh, okay.
Because you do get to pick first. Though.
Okay. Oh,
so CEO and nerd is what you're getting at. Is required.
Yes.
Okay. You get to pick first character.
Oh, yep. CEO.
All right. John?
Head of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The Giga CEO.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much
above me?
Yeah.
I'm the president.
No, I'm the head of the board of directors, but you're the CEO.
Yeah, board of directors is above the CEO.
Yeah, usually.
I thought the board of directors they hire the CEO, but the CEO runs the company.
Yeah.
Okay.
CEO
So
Right, but I'm the person that's leaning on you to get the profits that we need.
Yes.
Okay.
Our investors must be happy.
What are you playing?
I'll play the government official who's supposed to regulate this shit.
Oh, I love it.
And so I could see this scene not necessarily being like a tight scene in one room, but rather like
They're walking.
here's
around
what
stuff,
happens,
yeah.
here's what happens, here's what happens.
Okay,
here,
okay.
kind of a chain of events kind of thing.
Can we do it that way? That sounds fun.
I think I don't know.
Because it could be like a montage.
I guess, yeah, kind of. Yeah. I'll play time.
Oh, okay. Well,
You get
way
to
to
be the
force my
nerd.
hand. I guess
Yeah.
I'm the nerd in the basement. Okay.
Oh, it's me, Dave. Okay.
It's now we have to go around and talk about the initial thoughts of your character, and Amber, you get to go first.
Okay. I can't ask you questions about your character, can I? Well, can I ask what you said at the beginning? You were like, this is a scene about...
This is the R&D headquarters of Execucorp.
Yes, and the question was, who are the unsung people who
Who are the unsung heroes that discovered the technology that the billionaires took credit for?
So basically, in my head, I'm going to be saying, there's got to be something that... I gotta see, come up with a name for you.
Yes, give me a name.
Oh, Jesus. The only name I can come up with is something that is not great. It's like
Richard Screwball.
I was just thinking Richard something.
Yes, okay.
Really?
Richard.
Yeah, I was thinking Richard.
Then Richard it is.
Okay, so there's got to be something more than just the money that Richard wants for him to sign this. I got to find it.
I really need to put pressure on our CEO because I'm getting heat from the investors who are not making enough profit. Plus, the CEO keeps going off on these stupid intersolar system flights, and it's really running up the bills.
What's my name?
I don't know.
Charlie.
Also Richard.
Melon Husk.
I love it.
Yes.
All right, Chris.
I love it.
I'm like 100% sure they're doing some shady illegal shit with monkeys.
Cut back to the CEO with a monkey on the planetary trip that I went on recently.
Time is it is I think around sundown. The sun is setting on and there's just a crackle light that you can see from a very narrow window, so you can see the sun going down on the scene.
and so Richard's in the lab, and he's like, Dick, we've got a real problem here. We could get what we need, but we would have to harvest the monkey gland, and that's going to kill the monkey. That's not ethical, and it breaks a lot of rules, but that's what we need. I know that would do it. I know that would be that would unlock the what was it? The genetic engine? Yeah, that would be a real keystone in the genetic engineering.
All right, the scene starts.
And so
I thought we were trying to the unseen people who develop the space technology.
Yeah, I was thinking more like sending monkeys into space.
Yes. Well, okay. I don't know.
You launch rockets at Uranus with a monkey strapped on.
Yeah, this is supposed to be about the period of humanity develops interplanetary technology.
Great.
So the monkey gland?
Yeah, the monkey gland has something to do with it.
Something to do with
I
it.
don't know.
I
don't know.
You, if I have an idea, I can't say it.
You can when it's your turn.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, Richard's in the lab. He's like, Bobo, we've been good friends for years in this lab.
I'm playing Bobo.
Oh, okay. You play okay.
Yeah, because Bobo was a red shirt at this point.
Exactly. Yeah.
Bobo friend.
Sad. Turn into an elephant.
But it is the essence from your sacral gland that is I think would provide the coding in the that would really unlock some.
I make the sign language for banana.
Yeah. You're right, Bobo. I just can't do it. I can't. We will find a way to artificially manufacture this some way. I don't know. And he goes and picks a fresh banana off the tree inside the lab and hands to you.
The door opens as the board and CEO walk in.
Oh, so it's time. Okay. So yeah, Melon Husk walks in and sees Bobo eating a banana and sighs, and then looks to Richard and said, Richard, you're just going to have to do this. I know this is the one last, key that you've been, gnawing on, but you have to do it. There's so much writing on this.
But if you just give me some more time, I think we can manufacture this in a
How much more time?
In a van outside the facility, there's an FBI agent dialing.
Melon, just to be sure I understand, it's this nerd that is keeping us from earning billions of dollars?
It's this nerd is the one that's going to be advancing humankind.
Right. Our shareholders need this development.
The world needs this development.
And I understand that, sir, but we should do it ethically. We should do it responsibly in a way that allows ExecuCorp to to set an example for capitalists around the world.
If I haven't learned anything in my life, it's that if you have enough money, you don't need ethics.
Okay, look.
Are you like a 50 cigar smoker?
Yes,
Yeah. Look, Thomas, can you just give us a minute?
You don't need ethics. Where we're going.
I grab Thomas by the shoulder, like, listen, you can't talk to him like this.
You realize your job is on the line,
I
don't you?
understand.
The board is going to hold the vote next
will
week.
Get him to do what we need to do.
Okay,
Just,
all right.
Just,
And Bobo is signing Bobo sad. Humans fight, Bobo sad.
Banana. Taste weird.
Look, Richard, and I come back into the room. Is there something I could do to make this easier on you? We have a perfectly good Bobo right here.
Bobo the 15.
What?
We got a whole warehouse house full of monkeys out back.
What is going on in this genius mind of yours that is just holding? I mean, come on, what's one?
You know, Melon, I was with you from the early days of the company.
Yes.
And I've given you untold wealth. I mean, you know the number, but I don't.
Well, and you too.
I
We're
mean,
taking care of everything. What have I given you, right?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm doing
the
fine.
house in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I still got a mortgage on it, but yeah.
I could take. You do not,
No, I'm just
kidding.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
God.
Richard, you prankster.
you know me. I'm much more of a stick guy than a carrot. Like
Do you want me to beat you? Is that what you're asking me?
But I mean,
Richard?
I work best under pressure. I mean, remember that time when we came up with the formula for the for the thing we did. Like you really held my feet to the fire and you said we got to get this done in a week, and like we stayed up. I worked around the clock. I did it, right?
Bobo begins clutching his head as the genetically altered fruit begins affecting his body.
Okay, look, okay. We're down to the wire. I've got people breathing down my neck trying to get this prototype engine figured out. If you need me to work with you, we can go back to old times. What do I need to do?
Bobo begins reaching out.
If you can't take care of Bobo, I mean, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty.
Bobo grabs a pad of paper and a pen from the desk and slides it into the cage.
like I would like to at this point, like do like a mini flashback to like.
When we make that foot cream that made your feet smell like peaches.
Back to Thomas and the investors.
Okay.
And the guy he hired to switch out the banana tree, do whatever kind of crazy because I think Richard thought that was a good banana.
Yeah.
And not a genetically altered banana.
Sure. Bobo certainly thought it was a good banana.
Yeah.
Are you asking me to get my hands dirty? I'll do it with you.
I just can't do it. Bobo's a friend of mine.
Bobo begins sketching out. Bobo begins sketching out intricate interdimensional space travel.
Oh yeah!
I go over to the cage, the scalpel in hand,
and he hands you this piece of paper that's got this intricate formula on it for space travel.
What
the hell is that?
Well, you tell me.
What the hell are they doing to these monkeys?
It's
they're apes.
It's perfect.
What do you mean?
Bobo
perfect?
figured it out.
Figured what out?
Interstellar travel. And so,
this is
the unsung hero is not Richard.
Yeah.
It's Bobo!
I had to delete the sentence I was about to.
Oh my god.
And then the government storms in and takes Bobo.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh god, that's perfect.
I just think it would have been ironic if Bobo got shot then. That would be the best part. You shoot Bobo and you take the formula. What else could Bobo have told us?
Is it a light or a dark tone?
I think it was light.
Depends on whether Bobo survived or
Yeah,
not.
I was going to say,
Bobo survived. I didn't kill Bobo.
This skit is like if a robot designed an improv sketch.
What are you saying, Chris?
It's really good, is what he's saying.
Who made that scene? You made that scene?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I had to
those-
wrap it up.
That had the classic
almost.
feeling of a Dave scene.
Yeah.
I like how I bought you a cottage in Florida.
It was nice.
You didn't really buy it for him. You made a deposit on it.
I paid for lots
So
of
you could hold it over its head whenever you wanted.
Yeah.
It was more of a-
I'll quit paying your mortgage, Richard. I just
But you're so rich, couldn't you just buy the house outright? Nah.
Not
Not with these interest rates.
I'm going to make a new period in between the Great Blossom and giant space colonies are established.
Wait, you're doing that?
Yeah.
As the lens?
Yeah, the lens gets 2 turns.
Wow.
Just double dip.
Double dip.
Jesus.
Actually, it has to be around Interstellar. Oops.
I was gonna cut that monkey's head open.
I was waiting for the monkey.
Yeah, I was.
I fully expected that until John was like, nope, I'm making a scene now, baby.
Well, you guys could have killed him, so.
Well, I would have liked the dark implication of like monkey gets his head blown off, and then in the cage it is interstellar travel, and then another one says cure for cancer ? And nothing else on that page.
Cure for cancer tomorrow.
Yeah, I was leaning towards like the monkey's like cerebrospinal fluid or whatever is what allows humans to survive space travel.
Oh
yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
But
It went a whole different.
I like this.
Thanks, Bobo.
It's on the back of Monkey Scientist.
So I'm going to put an event between the Shattering and the Great Devouring called.
Wait, I thought it had to be
It is.
Okay.
The first departure, and it is the first giant space colony.
Wait, because we have a period before that called giant space colonies.
Yeah, but this is the first giant space colony
He made an
that
event, right?
travels. No, this is a period. It's called the first departure. It's is around the time, or I guess departure is like. Maybe I need to break this down. The first departure is
Exodus.
It's not the Exodus. It's the very first instance of a giant space.
Is that really a period, or is that more of an event?
Well, I guess I need to put yeah, it's probably an event. What's the period? I guess the first or expansion.
I would call it Exodus, because an event and the Exodus would be.
I call it expansion because Exodus sounds negative.
I could
Expansion is
see
like, oh, we're going out, we're doing it.
I could see it as.
I mean, it could be under space colonies. It could be.
It could be before space colonies. I mean,
Yeah, it could have been too. That we invented a colony ship that then populated a giant space colony. Maybe.
Because, like, to me, a period is something that happens over, like, you would look back on, like you said, the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Right. That was a period of time where a lot of events happened. So one colony leaving seems like that's the start of a period of time where we're going to be leaving. So yeah, expansion would probably be good.
Humanity. So the expansion of humanity starts living outside the solar system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I guess that worked.
There we go.
Because there could be lots of events that happen in that.
Yes, exactly. And then I put the event. The thing I was really trying to get at is the first giant space colony, and I'm going to call this Dragon 5. Not Dragon 5. Yeah, Dragon 5 is the nickname for it. The first giant space colony, Dragon 5, executes faster than light.
Thanks to Bobo.
FTL travel. There you go. So there's actually one more thing that's supposed to happen in this before we pass the focus and go on break. It's the legacy.
Okay.
And so Dave actually gets to do the legacy.
Hang on. Like, did everybody did it go all the way around?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the scenes took longer. But
Yeah,
the scenes
okay.
John and I did like a period and then
yeah.
an event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm.
Player to the right of the
Explore a
current lens.
legacy. Choose a legacy. Player to the right of the current lens. Pick something that appeared
Dave.
during this last focus and makes it a legacy.
All right. And what does that? You don't have
Yeah.
the slight details
right.
beyond that. Okay. Yep. Legacies are common threads that may stretch through time and influence history. A legacy can take many forms and take many forms: an object, a person, a place, a bloodline, an organization, or even a philosophical idea. You make the legacy to identify things you think are interesting and want to keep in the spotlight. Legacies are explored during a special phase of play between one focus and the next. Because you aren't restricted by a focus during the legacy phase, it is a broad opportunity to explore something that interests you. Just like anything in history, a legacy can also be brought into play or explored during play. So you will choose the legacy, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
You will write the legacy on a card along with the name of the player. Fold the card in half and blah, blah, blah. If you explore the legacy, the same player picks a legacy and makes an event or dictated scene about it.
Can we just choose a legacy first?
I'm just saying what the implications are as well when he picks his legacy, what happens as well. So after he picks his legacy, he will make an event or dictate a scene about that legacy.
Okay.
It does not have to be the legacy that you just created, but since it's the first one, it does. Since that is between lenses, there is no required focus, just the legacy itself. Within that When that is done, the legacy phase ends and the next player becomes the lens. So you, Dave, get to choose a legacy of any topic that was touched upon during this round.
Okay.
And then you get to create an event or a scene related to that legacy.
Okay.
So what is something that was of interest to you that you think should be a legacy?
I mean, my heart says Bobo, but sorry, this is taking me just a second.
That's fine.
I'll get there.
I am unclear on the concept of legacies.
It is pretty much a time to bring to spotlight something that's not necessarily a focus, but can be touched upon at any time, like in between rounds, you could say. And it actually impacts the story, the history line, because it instantaneously gets a scene or event created for it.
A legacy can be like the ideals of the founding fathers, a code of laws, a noble order of knights, an ancestral curse, or a sword fallen from the heavens. These are all legacies.
Right. Didn't really talk about any of those things.
Well, I mean, that's just to give you examples. Like
Right.
I mean, you can make a legacy from Richard. You
Right,
know, you
right.
can make a legacy from the goo aliens that we met. You can make a legacy from, yeah, those are really the two scenes that we
specifics,
really...
Yeah. You could do a legacy about... You can do a legacy about Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a legacy about genetically modified monkeys or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much make monkey people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, okay, so just kind of spitballing here. I think that the legacy is holding genetic engineering in high regard, like as just kind of like a code or ethics that, you know, genetic engineering worked out so well and allowed humans to travel beyond the stars that just as a code, humanity has especially further on as colonies and colony ships, like we embrace genetic engineering.
Here's this: if there's a lock, pick it. That kind of code, right? We have to unlock our potential.
Right.
So if there's a lock, pick it. Unlock it.
Right.
Does that make kind of sense as a humanity?
As like a motto.
Yeah. It's like
the legacy of that genetic engineering in Bobo is kind of embraced in that motto that comes up sometimes.
Yeah. If it can be done, do it.
All right.
Which is kind of dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. And now you get to create an event or dictate a scene based on that legacy.
Okay. And there aren't really any structures on this. I can do it anywhere, anytime.
You just have to make sure it falls underneath a regular rule. Yeah, but you can go anywhere.
Okay. Then I think I'm going to do... Oh, gosh. I think I'm going to just do an event under giant space colonies established.
Okay.
And that is genetic engineering allows humans to live in harsher environments.
Oh. Cool.
Because we learned from Bobo and we learned from the First Contact that harsh environments are...
Is that a light?
Yes.
Okay. And with that, we have finally played a whole round of Microscope. So we're going to take a break now. And then we'll see you back for more, the new lens. Chris.
It says talk about how the game is going.
Oh, shoot. Is that?
Before you start the next focus, take a break and then talk about how the game... So after... Okay.
Yep, exactly. Cool. Yep. All right. See you in 5 or 10 minutes. Which one? 10 minutes. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening. Check us out in 2 weeks for the conclusion to Microscope. After that, we will continue our world building with The Ground Itself by Everest Pipkin. In the meantime, check out some of the other great shows on our network at Geekspective.com. If you enjoyed what you heard, give us a follow on Twitter at Tales_Mauxferry or at Geekspective. You can also follow me at EvilDMJosh. Finally, if you like what you heard, give us a review on your podcast player of choice and support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Geekspective if you feel so inclined. And with that, this is Josh Long signing out.